What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of After 5 Garage. I'm your host, Matt, and today we got some goodies to install on the Supercharged Z. Stick around and find out what it is. All right, welcome to After 5 Garage, where after the 9 to 5 is where the real work begins. So today, what we have here is we have a fuel pressure sensor. It is gonna allow me to monitor my fuel pressure, or more importantly, it's gonna allow my tuner to monitor my fuel pressure. So that way we don't grenade our engine, especially this big investment that's behind me.
I declare bankruptcy!
So currently on my car, I do have a fuel pressure gauge. However, that's only good for when I pull over and pop the hood and manually check it. This is gonna allow us to monitor the fuel pressure digitally. So while I'm driving, myself and the tuner will be able to monitor the fuel pressure. Little investment goes a long way, so make sure you invest in the little things. What we have here, you'll see 3 blue postie taps to 3-wire wiring harness. And then lastly, we have the fuel pressure sensor. So should be a pretty straightforward install. Let's get into it. You guys know, if you are doing this and your car was just recently running and there is pressure in your system, just expect there to be a mist of fuel, a high pressure mist of fuel. So what I would recommend is I'd get yourself a nice little rag and cover places and just to be ready to catch the fuel when it comes out. Okay, not too bad. So yeah, there is some fuel coming out, so that's why we got our rag. Catch all that for us. All right, so we're gonna put the OEM fuel dampener to the side real quick. We're just gonna put this right over here. So I'm actually gonna remove this fuel gauge because we're not gonna be using that any longer. That should be a 15 if I remember. Yep. So basically we're just gonna go ahead and loosen this. That way it just makes it easier. So I'm not trying to break this in my hands. There we go. Okay. So we got that loose. There we go. Fuel gauge is off. Still got some fuel coming out as expected. And we're gonna go ahead and pop. There we go. Woo! All right, looks like the O-ring is fine. We're good there. Guys, so this is just gonna be a little helpful tech tip. You could buy these little wire runners or wire routers. It's like a little fiberglass stick. What I'm gonna show you to run this wire to the inside of my car, so I got the wire harness taped to this little stick. And basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna stab this down in here. Let's go through the other side and watch it snake through. There we go. And there's our wiring harness. So now we can just pull this in as long as we need. So yeah, very good trick. You have to use a lot of tape because sometimes the wires will slide around on there, but very good trick so you're not having to fight through the firewall. So as you saw pulling in the driveway, got the homie pulling up Alex. I'm gonna tag his Instagram on the bottom left of the screen. Give him a follow. So he's gonna work his magic. He's gonna actually tap into the ECU wiring because he would literally just did this, what, a few days ago?
Yeah.
So it's fresh in his mind and he doesn't mind swinging by to help out, so. So I didn't want to be all in his face when he was down here, you know, throwing the camera. Hey, what are you doing? We're going to do this. We're going to do this. So now that Alex is gone, I wanted to take this opportunity to get down here. All right. So basically the wires that were tapped, I'm going to go into detail. So this is on the car's ECU. The signal wire is a orange wire. It is pin 80, bank 2, sensor 2. So that's where we're getting our signal wire from. The power, or the 5-volt, is from pin 107. That is a brown wire. That's giving us 5 volts. And then lastly is our ground wire. That's going to be pin 112. That is a sky blue.
So I'd like to take this opportunity to show you guys how these wire tabs work. So let's get this interior put back together and let's meet each other back over by the table. So let's say that you want to tap into this wire right here. You're going to take this part of the postie tap and slide it through that wire. You're going to take your postie tap, make sure it's the part that has the point, and you're going to screw that together. Take your other wire, and then you're going to slide the exposed part through right here. And then you're going to screw that together.
So what we're going to be doing is adding some thread sealer to the threads right here. That way we don't have any fuel leaks. Do not use airline tape. Do not use this kind of tape. The fuel will eat this and deteriorate over time. So don't use that. Stop by your auto parts store, get something like this where it's fuel resistant. And what we're going to do is we're going to lather up the threads, and we're going to give it enough time to dry, and then we're going to put them in here, and we're going to let this all cure at least 24 hours according to the instructions on here. We're going to go ahead and get started, and we're just going to very slowly ease this in. Let me go get a tool real quick. All right, so at least for this fuel pressure sensor, it's a 25 millimeter. So I'm just gonna very carefully get it right there. There we go. So we are not gonna install this on Zoey just yet. We're gonna let this cure for about 24 hours. At least that's what the instructions say. And we're gonna make sure we have no leaks. Welcome back, it's the next day. We allowed the thread sealer to cure overnight, so now we're going to get everything reassembled, and then after that we're going to test for fuel leaks.
Fuel dampener off to the side. Now before the gauge was on the front side, I'm going to rotate this to the back so that way the fuel pressure sensor faces towards the back of the engine and it's not going to hit my wastegate. We're going to go ahead and pop this down in here like that. Now we're going to grab the fuel dampener, place that right on top of the CJM fuel port, and press it down. Grab your supplied Allen key screws that come with the fuel port and wrench them down. Fuel port reinstalled. Fuel pressure sensor secured. Everything is plugged back in.
So with that being said, we're going to wrap the video up here. In my next video, we're going to go over the ECUTek tuning process. I'm going to go over the step-by-step procedures. So if you are someone that is interested in that process or have any questions about that process, leave a comment down below and maybe I could address those in our next video. We have confirmed that the fuel port and the fuel pressure sensor are both working and not leaking fuel. The next steps from here are going to be to contact the tuner so that way he could send me a new file. In that file, it's going to basically tell the ECUTek software that there is a new sensor, the fuel pressure sensor, and it's going to allow us to read those readings digitally. Thank you so much for joining me here in today's episode. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a good one, guys.